as well. So, Roy,
Hello.
welcome to us to the show, bud.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Oh, we're doing great, man. We're just getting ready for the big show tonight.
Yes, definitely. Definitely a great show going to be happening tonight with the Despos over at El Social. But we got Mr. Roy Mesa on here, who's been a long time promoter. Okay, guys, he's been doing this thing for some time. So let's talk a little bit about that, Roy, before we get underway and everything else about the show
All right.
tonight. How
Heck
long
yeah.
have you been doing the promoting thing, bud?
Keith, I started my first promotions like in May of around 1996. That
Wow.
was my
Wow.
first. I think I had a first one dance and angle to my first one,
Hmm.
but it was around 1996. Of course, we followed the Tejano movement since the early 80s. I graduated from high school in 1978, and I was going to Stardust in 1975. Go see
Hmm.
Jimmy Edwards, bands
Yeah.
like that, and
Yeah.
it was just it was amazing, man.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I was helping a lady named Bertha Pettis in the early '80s,
Hmm.
and Bertha was putting all the concerts on, and with Selena and Joe Lopez and Moss, and then right, we were living it right when it started, when it was happening.
Yeah. So that had a big part of your that what inspired you to do things do what you're doing today, right? Is that
Correct.
a yeah? Awesome,
Yes, sir.
awesome, good deal. So
It,
just
it, it inspired me, man, and then I wanted to do it. And my brothers were real involved in the rodeo and livestock show and rodeo in the '80s and trail rides, and of course they had dances and stuff like that when it started to kick off. And I was kind of
mhm.
like with them on before this 1996. We had really put some shows together over at Hullabaloos that let us do our thing for some benefits. I
Mhm.
remember one show we did. The first time Bobby Polito came to Houston by himself, and he
Wow.
opened up. The Desperados actually opened up for him, and this was like an 80 something. So I'm proud to be a part of this stuff, and I love Tejano music, man. And it's you see people that just barely starts out, and boom, then
Yeah.
Bobby's all the way over.
Exactly. Yeah. So how do you stay connected, Roy, to the Tejano community and identify emerging artists that are coming into the scene? How does that work for you as a promoter?
Well, as it was when I started out. It was kind of hard getting to these guys, because they were on top of their game. They were going to Monterey, and some of them were making, in front of huge crowds over there. The Tejano music is huge over there. So when you get to start talking to some of these guys, I was just by myself, and I was just calling them up. My name is Roy. I met you at the concert. Let's start working. And
Yeah.
believe it or not, I formed a relationship with some of them: Joe Lopez, Jimmy Gonzalez, Ram Madera, to name a few, Emilio Navaida, and it just worked out good. And then I started finding some spots, and I would love to bring music in. Back in the day, Keith, we didn't have dances on
Hmm.
except for the Stardust, Starlight, Pan American. They had bands on the weekends, but your major clubs, they didn't put the bands on the weekends. Them bands came on Sundays and Wednesdays.
Oh wow.
So, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Hullabaloos would pack it in with Tejano music on Friday night, and they pack it in. I mean, 1,500 people
Damn
just
it.
listening to a DJ. So
Yeah.
the Tropa Jefes and all them guys, they would play on Sundays. And I was thrilled at the promotion process, the way it would work.
Hmm.
You hand out so many few free tickets, and then boom, all of a sudden you get a little crowd on Sunday, and then it started to take off. And I always was electrified by it. I thought that was awesome. I
Yeah.
love
Wow.
live music, so I was back out there on Sundays and Wednesdays, just
Hmm.
watching the live music. This was in the '80s when it was taking off. Keith.
Oh hell yeah.
It was a great
Wow.
ride. It's been a great ride for me.
Yeah. And it ain't over yet. It ain't over
Oh
yet.
no, I decided to come back, and I got sick. I got sick, and then I decided to make a comeback. And I told my wife when I was sick, I said, if I get well, God makes me lets me get well. I said, I'm coming back. And she goes, really, Roy? You gonna open another bar? I mean, it's kind of getting late, man. But you know what? I got feel good. I got energy, and I think it's awesome. And when we started out, also, here's a little note that I did, or that we did. It wasn't me by myself. It was always my wife. Foundation. We've been married 44 years,
Mhm.
and then with our friends and everything else. And Roy, I think my son is 40, so he started the business when he was like 10 years old. And he would come with me, he worked the door DJing, and he's still at it. And we used
Yeah.
to go and go to Baytown and get a bar over there. And one night I was proud to say that I had like four dances going at once. I had a casino club on I-10 and Wayside. They'll put Ramadetta there, for example, and then Gary Hobbs out in Sugarland, and somebody else I forget, and
Mhm.
and how would I be able to do that? Well, I had friends. I put two
Yeah.
people at the door at this door, two people at this, and why would I do that? My wife would find out and said, "Are you silly, serious?" And I said, "Well, you know what, Houston, I was always impressed with the million people Houston had." And I said,
Mhm.
if there's a million people, there's plenty of people in each part of town that's going to go
Exactly.
support 500 or 600 people, go support David Lee over there and over
Yeah.
here and that. And of course, the clubs, when they started going down, they got wind and they started bringing the bands in on Fridays and your Saturdays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I got a call today from a young man. I guess he was in his 20s. He's going to come
Mhm.
out and watch the Desperados tonight. I
Nice.
said, well, that's good, man. He says, well, I know because my mom and dad used to come see you. And they told me the name, and I thought it was awesome. I said, well, you going to drag them out here?
Yeah.
And he says, well, they're saying that they're going to try. I said, don't try. If I'm out here, I want them here too. So
For
I
sure.
think
For sure.
it's good like that, Keith.
Yeah. And we got some pictures. Now, going back, we're talking again. If you guys are just joining us here on the show, share the live as well. Okay, guys. We're live here on Houston's TejanoHits.com live show with Keith Leal. I got some pics here. Roy Mesa is a promoter here, if you guys are not familiar, and most of you are. But here in H-Town, Houston, Texas. He's been around. He's been doing this for some time now, and one of the greats here. And here's some prior pics from back in the days here. Here's one right here with Roberto Polido.
Yeah, that's being Roberto Bolito. I think that was back at the casino club. The
Yeah.
casino club was I-10 and Wayside, and the casino club ended up being Emiliano's.
Oh, wow.
Emiliano.
Okay. Okay.
That
Yeah.
was
So,
a good one. The pictures
yes.
are kind of old, Keith.
Yes, I know. Yeah, well, that's when you had your 70s porn stash, right?
That's right. Keith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I wish I would have been live from my mama's house because she has all the pictures,
All
buddy.
your pictures, huh?
Oh, man. That was the Garcia brothers, man.
Yes,
That
definitely.
was
Garcia brothers.
Azteca Fairgrounds, I think, if I can remember. And we used to do it up right there. I was always around Devil Harbor, El Dorado. I love the hood, man. I love the neighborhood because that's where it originated from.
Mhm.
I always thought Tejano started in the north side. I don't think it started in the valley. I
Here's
always say,
another
no,
great one.
Tejano started in the north side. Me
Yeah.
and Roy Jr. and Joe Lopez. Joe Lopez was
Yes.
it was a favorite. He was a favorite, and it was hard to book a Joe at first, and then
Mhm.
after a while, you could see we were like family. You know, you book
Yeah.
these guys a lot, man, and it's kind of like a coworker, Keith, like your coworker, man, and they're the same thing. They're just stars, though. They're
Mhm.
performers, but without
Yeah.
you and without them and without the radio and without the club, without the barbacks, it wouldn't
Yeah.
work.
They wouldn't working.
It's a team.
So Roy, yeah, not every event that you have, or just in general as a promoter, and you're on the promoter side, not every event is a successful event. For many out there that can probably vouch for this too. Just not you, but other many promoters that are out there in the business are successful. So what happens in that? I mean, you guys do take a hit when there's an event that just doesn't go your way, or it can be a weather related situation, or
Oh,
just anything in general.
you know what? The thing about it is that when me and my wife opened our businesses and my son, and we were always there, and we never did want to be the promoter that ran out the back door.
Hmm.
If you come in here and you say you're gonna play for Roy Mesa, guess what? You get paid right off the bat. And I could see that there ain't very many people that could say a bad thing about me when it comes to me. Because when I tell you I'm gonna pay you, there's nobody in here right now. Social,
Hmm.
nobody in, but it don't matter. As soon as the guys show up, they're getting their money. And if
Yeah.
nobody's in here the rest of the night, who cares? You're gonna play for me, and I may get up there and sing a song. That's the
That.
way you take the business. I mean, if people takes the business like now, when it comes to time that you can't do it no more, you got
Yeah.
to bow out.
Yeah, about yeah,
about out. But I never ever sent somebody home packing without anything, without their money
right.
that was
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed. You might not come back because you didn't draw that much, but I don't know, man. I guess call it luck or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But every single show we have, sometimes it was different bands, and it's not always the huge bands. It was successful.
Successful, right, right, yeah,
We had one about a month ago that was over at Tri City Beer Garden. It was awesome.
yeah,
We had one in Social, and it was awesome. We got some more. I think we're gonna team up with Mikey Mike and put the hometown boys. I think at Winners later on during the year. So
yeah.
it's just picking it up and making sure that if you spread it around, like I don't know what it's like trying to get some of these guys that local talents, but you just got to get the people used to the music, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I was
definitely.
mom and dad, and when I was a very early kid, we were the kids that were sliding on the dance floors and going to the weddings and the quinceañeras when we were kids, and then
Mm,
music was there. I guess
yeah.
that's why we had a passion for it.
Right, right, yeah, and like I said, some have from many prior events that other promoters had stuff like this. Some of them are successful, some of them are not, but there's many that are very, very many of them that are. And any lessons learned that you had along your way in your career promoting from any lessons learned for I guess I would say anything that you had successful that went your way, an event that you led.
Well, here's another thing you got to do. You got to have time for people. And
Hmm.
man, when I was at the beer garden, Keith, and my wife could attest to it, I would come home at 3:30, and it was Saturday night, Friday night, 3:30 in the morning. All of a sudden, you get a call at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's a customer that just got off of work at the refinery, want to know who's going to play Saturday night. And oh, and he
Yeah.
said, "Did I wake you up?" I said, "No, you didn't wake me up." And the reason why I felt like that, Keith, is because when you go into business, I went all in. I
Hmm.
was like 24/7,
Yeah.
right to the lineman stuff, of course, because I'm still a journeyman lineman. I put the lights
Hmm.
on too, and
Yeah.
I'm real excited about what happened. We had 2.2 million customers, and within 11 and a half days, everybody's damn near on. Now it
Yeah.
sucks if you were the last, one to be on, but you're on. During Hurricane Ike, I think we only had 700, 800,000 customers, and it took us 20 days. Hurricane Alicia back in '83 took us
Wow.
25 days with only a million people. But
Unbelievable. So this
uh,
is not a bad situation at all. You know what I mean? Less than what, almost about a week right now. Currently, the one we just recently had.
I would say we couldn't start the hurricane. You didn't, it came in the morning. I didn't start till around 3 o'clock in the afternoon that day. So I'm going to call it 11 and a half days.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of it. I know everybody's upset with the company, and they have a right to be, I guess. But when it comes down to it, and I don't want to say this wrong, but we're not really entitled to this stuff. It's just something that we do. I mean, climbing poles and
Yeah.
string. That voltage is 7,200 per phase.
Damn.
The other is 13,000 volts, and you take it when you plug something in, it's only 120, and we're dealing with that kind of stuff. So you got to be careful. You know,
Definitely. Yeah. Safety first. No doubt about that.
I'm proud, but I want the politicians to concentrate on the crime and the milk and the bread, and leave the light company to us, baby. We know what we're doing. I know
Yeah.
they kind of talks on the radio, I mean on TV, and saying they're going to investigate. You investigate that crime in North Side, buddy. You investigate crime in the East Side. You
Hmm.
let me worry about putting them lights on. But that's just,
Exactly.
and I may get in trouble for that. But then again, who cares?
Yeah. Who cares, right?
Right?
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm 100%, and so that's the way I grew up, and I'll tell you 100%. That's the way it works.
That's the way it works. Yeah, for sure. How do you maintain and build relationships with artists, from venue owners, managers, and so on in the industry itself? Roy, you've been doing it for a long time, so I know you've come across quite a few people.
Man, you just got to have time for all the people. There's a lot of people that you got to talk to, and I've seen a lot of people that they won't talk to a few people, but you just got to talk to everybody because you can't
Hmm.
tell who that next club owner is going to be. That 25-year-old kid trying to ask you a question, he could be the guy that comes down 5 years later with a $1 million nightclub. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
You don't treat him with respect, he's not going to call you. I mean, I get calls for people to help me and wanting me to help them, and I'll give them some guidance if I can. And I wish I was made of money. I would build all these clubs up. But I'm really am a fan of everything. I mean, I worked at Tumbleweed for a year, and I one of the prettiest places in Houston, brother.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's beautiful there. I
Yeah.
mean, and the way Mr. Rob used to polish that floor and clean that floor, and the way they managed that place, and they're all so nice. And you walk in there, and it's like, wow, it makes you feel something. And then I want to see David there, and then you come back over here to Social, and it's the same thing. The
Yeah.
same people, the management here, Mikey Mike, they treat you like and I see them. That's the way you build it.
Exactly.
Every
Yeah.
customer keep is important,
Hmm.
and that's not necessarily the artists. The artists are important too, but you got to remember the artist. You're working.
Hmm.
The guy
Yeah.
that comes out through that turnstiles and pays that $20. I learned a long time ago when I first started out, and from these guys that would work these unmentionable clubs, would say, because they
Hmm.
would bars and restaurants. You pay attention to the person that's sitting across the bar from you because they're in there working, they're in there drinking your beer. Don't worry about who's at Keats Bar.
Yeah.
You know, he'll come to you
Yeah.
eventually.
Eventually.
You know, they'll come to you eventually. You pay attention to people that are with you, the
Yeah.
people that support you, and the other people, if they can't support you every time they came, it's impossible. I mean, how can you make a choice, Marcus or Gary, or you know what I'm talking about, Keith?
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
hard.
It's very
Sometimes
hard.
it's very hard to make a decision, and I'm just so proud of our culture, brother. I
Oh
preach
yeah.
it all the time. I tell them linemen from Alabama, "Hey, you ever heard of this?" No, sir, I ain't never heard of that. I said, "You bet you don't have that in Alabama out in the woods." I said, "But we have it over here. This is what we do in Texas." Wow, that's crazy, Roy. You know, we're proud of our culture, brother.
Oh yeah.
And Little Roy's
Definitely.
a great part of it. My daughter Yvonne, she's behind the scenes a lot, but also with it. And my wife, man, if it
Mhm.
wasn't for her, it wouldn't be no Roy Mesa.
So tell me a little bit. I got another picture I'm gonna flash up right here. Tell me a
Uh,
little bit about this one right here. This one's
uh,
way back, huh?
that takes me back. That's Emilio Nevada, buddy. And the one right there, Emilio, he's at his bus, but he had his shooting bus. I think we were
Hmm.
in Baytown. I think that was the late '80s. And the other one was, I think, at my beer garden. And then the one on the right is El Gato.
El Gato Negro. Uh-huh.
To bring Ruben, but with Ruben, he still looks the same thing, man.
Yeah, I saw Ruben not too long ago. Yeah, he don't age much.
He
You know.
don't. The little Joe, I talked to little Joe a couple of times this week, and he said playing in Austin, and he said, "Roy, I want to come." He said, "Well, we'll have to work something out. I know you come for the festival all the time in October. I need to bring you to one of these bars or something, and it'll be a treat." Because I took him to the beer garden, and oh my god, I think they stopped traffic on navigation Keith, that day.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
a lot of people, the neighbors, they would bring their lawn chairs. And they were sitting in the median, and some of my people were trying to go make them leave because the band was going to play. I said, "You don't touch them people. This is their neighborhood. You go get them some water, cokes, or whatever they want. I don't
Yeah.
care if they're not coming to the club. And if they need to use the restroom in the club, you let them do it." And I
No
think it
doubt.
was neat because all the people were just standing around in the streets, and then it was just awesome, man. Because I couldn't fit them inside of the beer garden. It was so many people could fit in there, and then we had them on the patio, and so the people for the neighborhood, they would hear the music. There was only one person used to complain all the time, but of course you have them Karens.
Right.
But the other
Yeah.
neighbors loved it because they would hear the whole concert in their backyard and their barbecue. Y'all owe me a cover charge. It,
Yeah.
it was great, man.
Good old days. Good old days. Well,
It's still,
again, go ahead.
yeah, no, it's still good, brother.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just like I said, and you take it one day at a time. You continue to do your thing. If you guys are just joining us right now here on the show, we are talking with Mr. Roy Mesa from Roy Mesa Promotions right here in Houston, Texas. Now, Roy, have you ever expanded outside of Houston to do any promotions outside of the city?
Yeah, we did a couple of things in San and a couple of gigs out there. Funny you ask. I got some stuff that we're working on, and I don't know. Whenever like my wife says, you quit being a lineman and you quit being a promoter and you concentrate on one thing. I said, but if you know me for 40 something years that you've been married, I don't concentrate on one thing. I gotta have
Hmm.
my things in the mix. I would love to almost brought some music out to California because
Oh, okay.
I'm a lineman in California also. uh, uh, back and forth. When you're with the union, you got the ability to go work anywhere you want to in the United States. You carry a ticket and you can go to Idaho if you want. That's
Hmm.
your prerogative. So I choose to go to California because I was up in age, and there was the places that I was eyeballing, but it just ain't ready yet. And I think that in order to go to California or to Phoenix or something like that, you have to hit the casinos, and I plan on doing that when I really retire.
Hmm.
When I want to retire, that way I could concentrate. I went to Vegas and I haven't been in since Bertha Bettis would do it or whoever would did it back in the '90s at Bally's,
Hmm.
and we went this time and I had a great time. At the West Wind or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But of course, thoughts went through my head. I said, maybe I'll bring a conjunto show over here.
Hey,
Maybe
that.
we'll put it on at the big place instead of just at the West. Maybe we'll put it at Bellagio or something if they'll let us.
Yeah.
Sometimes they won't let you. But
Hmm.
shoot for the stars.
Yeah,
Shoot for the
definitely.
stars. I've got some other places popping up and that that they want Tejano, but I'm just waiting right now. And I know El Rodeo, popular club on Gulf
Hmm.
Freeway, very popular. And told that guy when it's time, we're gonna bring the artists over there. Maybe over there you can bring three of them at a time, but you can't do it every week.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
once every 2 months. And hopefully we
Hmm.
could get Jennifer back here. And there's other people that are popping out. I seen where Elsa Garcia came out, and I
Yeah.
think it's pretty good. And we've always had musicians in Houston, man. I mean, young.
Hmm.
They're like older now, but Carlos Maldonado, I used to think, wow, dude, you can rock, bro.
Yeah.
And
Fuerte.
you're my little buddy, but you can rock, man. A bunch of the Cortez family. I mean, just they just been around the business forever, man. You gotta hand it to them guys. The
Hmm.
cooking teams right now are bringing in Tejano, dude.
Yeah.
Rick Garza, second to done, and Louie, and shut them down, and all these people, man. That is awesome the way they're doing this stuff, and that's what's keeping it alive.
Oh yeah,
That's what's
for
keeping it
sure.
alive, and
Yeah.
we're backing them up. Everybody that keeps on backing them up, and Keith, I'm not just saying this to you. And I told you before. I didn't know about this podcast or nothing. You're one of the best, my brother.
Appreciate that, man.
I
I
met you at
appreciate that, bro.
Tumbleweed, and I appreciate what you did at Tumbleweed. I appreciate you're still working with Tumbleweed, and I appreciate everything you do. Because without people like you, dude, and you're straight up. That's what I like about it. You don't ask me what I like on my hamburger. You're
Yeah.
straight up, brother.
Right.
You get
If
you get
you
straight to the facts. And I told little Roy, Keith is bad. You know, I love it. I love it, brother.
I
I
appreciate
love
that,
it.
man. Definitely looking forward to working with you in the future as well.
Oh
Continue to
heck
do
yeah.
things here for sure. There's no doubt about that, Roy. Now you just recently had a birthday. Okay,
Oh
so
yeah.
there's a yes. So happy belated birthday to you. I've told you over the social media and whatnot, but you're here right now, face to face. So happy birthday to you, and we wish you the best and wish you many, many more as well. But tonight you're celebrating at El Social here in Houston, Texas. So let's
And
talk about that gig.
we have, and this was perfect. When I booked this gig, I told Mikey Mike I'm doing a reunion, and of course Mikey Mike, he's been around the block forever, man.
Yeah.
People used to think Mikey Mike was my son. He worked for me forever, and then he worked for everybody else. Everybody, if you see Mikey Mike is just awesome. The way he carries himself, the way he meets people, the way Mikey Mike got to go out there and run for mayor. He's Mikey Mike, and he's going to be with me tonight. And I don't know if you can see Bubba's up there on the stage. Bubba's up there setting it up, and Bubba's been around forever. And with Bubba doing the sound over here at Social for the Desperados, and Mikey Mike and Roy Jr. on the, oh man, it's going to be a party, bro.
Oh
Because
yeah.
we sold a lot of tables already. They stole a lot of tickets. And I hope you come out.
Yes.
I hope
Check it out,
everybody
guys.
comes out. So it's going to be something. It's going to be off the wall, brother.
Yes, and a little beer garden reunion there as well. So you guys are all invited out there tonight. What time the doors open there tonight?
Well, we're going to open the doors tonight, probably about 8ish, 8:30 maybe. Everybody's in here right now. They're setting up, and I think on Saturdays they open around 7:30. But since tonight we're going to give people a chance just to relax and everything. And the place is cooling down, and everybody's been stressing. I don't want to go back to the hurricane again, but I'm so glad that the people got their lights on, and and
Yeah.
and that's a stressful situation, man. That's a really stressful. If you could reach out and help your friends during times of need, you got to help them because sometimes the government or people like that they can't get there,
Yeah.
they
Very much
can't
so.
get there, and I think that's a whole nother story, because you can
Yeah.
tell I'm passionate about that,
Yeah.
and I'm
Uh,
passionate about just like I love my Tejano music. I love my light company, and I love my people that I work with, and I really feel like we need to get these people these lights, and hopefully we could figure out they could figure out the people that be could figure out a little better plan, but realize that when something comes in at 120 miles an hour and you take a direct hit,
yeah.
everything's all wangled up.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
I
Yep.
appreciate everything, Chris, Keith, and it's just
Yes.
awesome.
No problem, no problem. So, just got a few more questions for you right now, quick, Roy. Before we let you go, I know that you're getting ready for the show there tonight, and you got a lot of things on your plate. So, how do you see your role as a promoter, and what legacy do you hope to leave in the Tejano music industry when you decide to hang it up? Not saying you're ready to hang it up for a second time, but just when you do.
Well, I don't know how all the other promoters do it, but I know how I do it. When I want to come in and I want to bring a band, I don't leave it up to the owners. I take ownership of it. I pay for that band.
Mhm.
I pay for that band, and I take that door. I don't want to give away a lot of my secrets, but who cares? If you need
Yeah,
help, I help you. But the main thing is you pay for that band, and then it's up to you. You get out there and you promote it. The club has to
mhm.
promote too, because I want them to make some money. But
Right,
you
right.
get out there and promote it because you want to and if somebody's out there and they're willing to I wish I had somebody that I could give them the front door and they could bring in and pay for the band. But back in the day, I did it all.
Yeah.
I manned the
Wow.
bar, and we had like 3 or 4 clubs going at once. Plus, we had Party on the Plaza. So you tell me
Mhm.
we weren't tired,
Yeah.
but it was all a good thing, man. I wish they wouldn't have tore down my Party on the Plaza.
Yeah, I remember that. That was there a few times when I first moved here to Houston, which was back in I would say probably like 2000. I want to say it was good. I mean, it was already starting to get on its way out that way
Yeah,
in the year
it was
2000.
on
But
its way out.
yeah,
So I mean, we had a blast, brother. We had a
yeah,
blast. There was nothing like I had 2 Friday nights because if I didn't sponsor Party on the Plaza, it was there, and the beer garden was right down the street. I think we were there before, maybe before Minute Maid. But
mhm.
when the Astros were coming, Roy would say, "Hey, Dad, I know you want me to cook some chicken legs, right? It's Tuesday night, and the Astros are playing, and we're in the World Series. Can we go with some fajitas?" I said, "Can you pay for it this time?" He says, "Come on, Dad." He says, "It'll pay for itself." I said, "I know it will, Roy. Make as many as you want. Make a lot of them. Don't run out." And oh man, everybody knew that Roy was going to be cooking. Roy Jr. was going to be cooking some fajitas, so they would come before the game, and they'd be there after the game. And
Nice.
it was crazy, man. And I just missed them days. I had told them people that why don't you let me just do a Friday night? That's all I want to do is Friday nights. But El Tiempo owns it now, and
Mhm.
they said, "Well, Roy, if you do a Friday night, you're gonna wipe me out with parking." I said, "I'm humbled that you would think that way, but I won't start it till 11. How's that?" you know. But
Yeah.
hopefully, I don't know, man. The legacy is just keep on doing it. Be positive. If you make your word. If you tell somebody you're going to pay them 500 or 5,000, make sure you pay them.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that you say you're going to pay somebody 5,000 and you don't come up with the money. And like I've been seeing here lately, like some of these guys, they said they canceled it because they didn't sell enough tickets. I'm like, wow. I wish I was that lucky. Because when I
Yeah.
tell you I'm going to bring Emilio Nevada, I couldn't cancel them because I didn't sell enough pre-sale tickets. We'll just put it that way. You
Yeah.
had to pay,
You had to pay.
but
Yeah.
times are different. Times are different,
Yeah. Different.
and
A lot. A lot has changed. A lot has changed in the
a
industry.
lot
There's
has
no doubt
changed.
about that. Yes, sir.
Yes,
And
sir.
so, how do you see the Tejano music scene evolving over the next 5 to 10 years, Roy, based on what
I
you're seeing right now?
with the excitement that I'm seeing right now, they said when I started that Tejano business back in the '90s that it was already on the downhill. And what are we, 2024?
Yeah.
And
Still.
we're having it. I mean, I think there was, I don't know how many people. I don't want to lie, but when I was there Friday night at the convention, I think there was 8,000 people in that place.
Yeah.
And that's just
Wow.
the dance. You're not talking about all of around it. There was a lot of people there. And they're having
Hmm.
these big old festivals all over Wisconsin and all that. That's drawing a lot of people, and they're drawing it because the people want to come see that Tejano.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
true.
you're branching off and you're going out there. I think you had a benefit on the 13. I think it went well out there where you went, and I thank you for helping that man. And I just met that man, and I talked to him on the phone today, and he said he had a great time and
Yeah.
he appreciated all your work that you did for him, Mister
Yes, and
Jr.
I know he's got more on the way, in the future as well. More, I guess, with more shows and stuff like that, more benefits on the way. So definitely stay tuned for that as well. So yes, we're definitely here to help him and support him
So
in
I
any way
see
we
Tejano
possibly
on the
can.
move. I see Tejano still doing it, and
Hmm.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Keith. Even when I'm dead and gone, Tejano's still gonna be doing it because it's
Yeah.
just a culture. It's just there's kids coming up playing the accordion. They're 13 years old,
Yeah.
and they're
Oh
playing
yeah.
with their dads. And they, Max, his son they're kicking ass. But
Yeah.
and then you got some kids, the Ibarra twins. I think I see them on Facebook.
Yes.
And I
Bada
mean,
boys.
come on, you can't have. That's just awesome, brother. And then people have the audacity to say it's dead. It's not dead until it's dead.
Yeah. Yes,
Like
these
tonight,
guys.
there are going to be so many people here. There are going to be so many people at Tumbleweed, so many people at Tri City, and so many, and they're all spinning Tejano music. So you tell me if it's dead or not. It's not dead.
Right, right. It's not. Yeah,
It's
it's
not dead, man.
leave that all in the people's hands to make that decision. There's just a lot. There's still a lot of stubborn people out there though that just
Exactly.
want to. There's a lot. Trust me. Everywhere you can turn left and right and over your shoulder. Not there, but walk outside the building. I'm sure you'll see a few of them. Hey Roy,
Exactly.
this is one of your latest picks here that you got right here with Mr. J.R. Gomez and the voice Jay Pettis.
J.R. Gomez and Jay Pettit. I came, actually, that was on my original birthday on July the 6th.
Mm.
And I walked up, and I didn't have nothing to do with it. I was still just attending as a guest, and then I go outside. There he is, the voice. And I said, "Hey, buddy, I'm looking for you on that stage." And whenever you have a Jay Pettis around, man, there's so much energy.
Yeah.
The guy's such a great singer, and
Oh yeah.
Jr. and all the band guys. All these guys are good, Keith.
Oh, oh yeah.
All of them are. I see the bands that you
They're
interview on there, and I'm over there tapping my feet, and my wife says, "Roy, turn that phone down." Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, my bad. I don't look at regular TV. I rather just look at these bands and stuff. But
yeah.
these guys are incredible, and some of them sing like norteño, and oh my god,
A
and
lot of variety out there right now,
and the
doing a lot of
Tejano
great things.
customers like that.
Hmm.
Tejano customers like variety. They like
Yeah.
country and western. They like norteño. They like hip hop, and you'd be surprised. We like it all. That's why we're
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, there we
yeah,
go.
that was a phone call coming in, but it's no big deal, Keith.
So, one last question for you, Roy. Any
Yeah.
advice that you may have for emerging promoters that are looking to break into the industry? Just some of the younger guys out there that are thinking about wanting to step into the promoting side.
You could step into it, and you could get ready for it, but have some concentration. It's not just because I want to be famous or somebody like that. It's not like you got to have the drive for it for one thing, and tell you the truth, you got to have a little back pocket. You
Yeah,
got to go in there with a little bit because all of a sudden you got to pay for like maybe a commercial spot, and even though they're not that much, you got to pay for this, you got to pay for the band, you got to pay for the ice. You might have to pay for a few things,
hmm,
but it's hard. But you got to keep motivated and keep on going. And if you want to, you can keep on going. I started, and people didn't think that I was going to start. I used to cut my own tickets out of, I forgot that what paper mache or whatever it was, and make my own flyers, and go
yeah.
down to Office Depot and print stuff out and go to the restaurants, and I'd post it up
Post
on
them
the
up.
restaurants. And that's the way we did it back in the day. We didn't have Facebook to
Hmm.
where I could
Yeah,
put something up and hit 1,000 people right off the bat. Oh wow,
yeah,
1,000 people. That's it. We didn't have that. So it took a lot of back in the day. printing up their own tickets and doing this and doing that. It was a lot of legwork, but it was
Yeah.
worth it. And that's all I could tell somebody. If you want to get your head in the game, come out here and look and see what you like, see your bands and stuff like that. And you could do it, man. You could do it. And if you
Yeah.
need some help or need some advice, my phone number's everywhere. And I'll
Yeah. Oh
talk
yeah.
to anybody. And it don't matter if it's a competitor or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
But
You'll give them a word of advice as well.
oh, exactly. If anything,
So
I'll help you.
yeah. Gloria Trevino says Roy Mesa's on navigation was fire. So there we go.
Oh, I appreciate that.
They're chiming in here and some guests. Mr. Ed Trevino also says ¿Qué pasó, Roy? He's tuned into the show también. Mr.
I love it,
Phase
Ed.
3.
I see Mr. Ed Sunday, man. What's going on, Ed?
And we got
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Ruben was it Ruben Horta here says El Dorado, Texas, homeboy.
Yes, sir. We're from El Dorado, and we always loved El Dorado. El Dorado, Texas, baby. North side, Texas, east side. I love all the sides, brother. It's all good.
Well, Roy, I appreciate you taking the time to be here on the show with us tonight, here to share a little bit of your background and what you got going on and what you got going forward. So, any dates or anything that you might want to any future, or should I say, future shows you have in the books right now?
Yeah, I do. I do have something. I have something coming up on August the 9th, and me and Jimmy Gonzalez were real good friends, even when they split. I love Jimmy Gonzalez. So we got the Iconics coming in on August the 9th.
Awesome.
Also, I'm very proud to still represent the hometown boys when they come to Houston. And I know they all passed, but Roman's still living and his daughter lives. And they came with me to Social last time to a packed house. They're coming up on August the 31st. Marcus Orozco's playing for me again on this 26th. And we got some other stuff lined up. I think Roy's going to be doing some DJing stuff, trying to reinvent the beer garden. And we're looking for what's going to happen on a Friday night. And that's something like that. It's going to take off,
Yeah.
because they're still going to like it, So hopefully everything can work out, man. And
Oh yeah.
I appreciate all your what you do for the industry also, sir.
No problem, Roy. Anytime. I appreciate you again taking the time. So you guys out there that are watching the show tonight, getting ready for the show that's going to be happening tonight over at El Social. Right here, I'm going to throw up the banner one more time here tonight. Desperado is going to be out there, all right? So as they go out there and celebrate with Roy Meza, his birthday, all right, over at the El Social Entertainment venue, all right, guys. If you need some more details or you need some, I believe all the tables are probably already.
We got a lot of them reserved, but what we do
reserved.
here, we got a lot of them that are not.
Okay.
So that just shows me that the people coming in, they're going to come in, and probably Friday night, it's going to be a late crowd, Keith. It's probably going to be a late crowd, about 8:30, 9 o'clock. It's only 7:40 right now, and we're fixing to get fired up. And where's Mikey Mike where he can bring me some tacos? Mikey Mike? Or else I'll go get him. Come over here. Maybe I can hit up Little Roy on the way down here. I wonder if he passed Whataburger yet. But hey, I appreciate it, man, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to serve. And I appreciate all the customers that followed Roy Meza throughout the years. And man, thank y'all very much.
You're very welcome, Roy. Well, we can continue success, and say again, once again, happy birthday to you, and I hope you have a great show tonight over at the El Social. So we wish you the best of luck with that, and anything that you have coming up your way in the future as well. So I say we're always here to support 110% again. So I appreciate you.
I'll be calling you tomorrow. Are you coming by tonight, Keith?
Probably not. I would love to go out there tonight. So I've got a lot more to catch up on here on the studio, but I definitely will look forward to the next event you may have.
I'll call you tomorrow, and then we'll hook up for the next event. Now, once again, I appreciate everything you do for us, and thank you for your promotions.
You're very welcome, man. You take care. Enjoy your night and be safe, my brother.
Thank you, brother. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.